Let me get a couple hundred of it. Whole cool bag, take it, come and get some. Frosty, yeah, see how you head strong. They ain't checking for me, come and got another one sliding on the mountain, sun, bread, pocket, roll lot. Tiptoeing in the club, I just pass out. VIP, no sleep, baby, shot out. Talk right on the pool, from the wild out. I'm coming right now. I gotta get it in my head, close, fake, pussy hole. I feed up off your head. Pull up on the drum, make a bitch pump her break. I'm a headhunter, baby, you pussy and face. I had that pick up my early, go, you bitch my plate. And your street had a plate. Big mouth, little dick, that's the shit that I hate.
5 minutes to show. Oh, 3 minutes.
Coming for your headshot. Make sure you get it right, nigga, don't stop. Go all out on your ass, nigga, nice rock. No deal, quick, fast, green light, there, better when it comes out. Coming for your headshot. Make sure you get it right, nigga, don't stop. Go all out on your ass, nigga, nice rock. No deal, quick, fast, green light, there, better when it comes out. I'm feeling that money in my feelings, a hot dog, bar for a foreplay. I get a nigga rock song. What you so good, I get your baby with a hot dog. Better game the natural back for the hot dog. Great on my ass, fucking with a feel low, feel high, you fucking with a real low. Killer Cam on the track though, flow sick, you see my
Yes.
The real is Cassidy and I'm up the nose. Walk off the runway, get him out the door, pull up all the things, float on to the next site. Brown got the
Yes. I got my Olivia Pope wine glass for your ass. All right, showtime is today.
Make sure you get it right, nigga, don't stop. Go all out on your ass.
We got some shit to talk about today.
No deal, quick, fast, green light, there, better when it comes out.
Okay.
Make sure you get it right, nigga, don't stop.
Let's see if I can work this day up on something. I'm paying all money for the tablet and I don't even know. Oh, you doing Rose Star? Hey.
You know how I get off top.
Upgrade your party.
Upgrade your party, huh? You better work. Yes. I love it.
Branding, you know how to go.
All right. We're gonna start at 9 o'clock. We got 1 minute. I'm hot. Ooh, super hot, y'all. Got in trouble. Is it 9 o'clock? Almost. Hey, Jay. Oh, this is that new.
Karma Jet logo.
This is that new
Karma
track
Jet
from
logo.
Karma. Those of you that joined us on Sunday, you have the esteemed privilege of seeing Karma do her worldwide debut of her new track. This is it. Yes. This shit is so sexy. We got some shit to talk about, y'all. Hey, I just gotta hear Karma song real quick. New track, shout out to Karma Sam. Toast on that. Oh, we're gonna do shot. Hey, you got it.
It's just Malibu, guys.
No,
You crazy. Tequila and wine. Malibu. Malibu.
All right.
I want to
All right.
like that.
All right. Shot to Karma Sims on her new track. Yes. Upgrade your party. Yes. All right. Let's get started. So, first of all, thank you guys for last minute deciding to join me to to talk about some things. Okay, so why are we here? I was reading online today when I was at work, the case with Chris.
Hi everyone, I am Jody's son. Nice to meet everybody. This is also Nancy. You probably know her as well. A greater party, hit her up.
She just got to introduce
She just got completely to introduce me, but it's okay. I'll introduce myself. Nice to meet you.
That's my child. It's my child. Don't come for me. I didn't send for you, but I didn't introduce you either, so that's my bad. Yes. For those of you that don't know, this is my son. He is, first of all, he's over 21, so I don't want y'all texting me, DMing me with no bullshit, okay? He's over 21. Nursing student, extremely intelligent, love him. And of course, you all know one of the B's from the B&B corner. This is the Bay, Nancy. So, why are we here? I was at work today, and I was actually listening to the, reading up on the Christopher Watts case. So I think before I kind of go into what we were discussing, it's important that I update you guys on what this case is all about, okay? So Christopher Watts is a 33-year-old white male that lives in Colorado, and he was charged allegedly for killing his unborn wife, his wife and her unborn child, as well as his 2 children. There you go. Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of complexities that come along with this story that I want to kind of share with you guys. You may not agree with some of the things that I have to say, but I'm pretty sure you probably know by now. I don't really give a fuck. I want to say it anyway. Or you may actually kind of see where I'm coming from. I don't know what these 2 are going to have to say, knowing my son is going to go against me because that's just what he loves to do. But he always has facts. Devil's advocate. But he always comes with facts. So let's kind of start them off with the story. Okay? You got your notes.
I got my notes, y'all.
Okay.
So
let me catch you up. All right. So the Colorado man who was accused of killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters before dumping them at an oil work site told the police that it was his wife who strangled the children and that he strangled her out of rage. This man, Christopher Watts, he had been having an affair with a co-worker and told his wife that he wanted to separate during an emotional conversation in the middle of the night. Afterwards, he told police that he had looked in the family's baby monitor and he saw that his wife was strangling their youngest daughter, Celeste, who is 3. Their older daughter, Bella, was already laying on the bed and she appeared blue. After that, he strangled his wife, he told the police. So basically what he's saying is that the reason that he did kill his wife is out of rage, because he witnessed his wife kill their 2 children. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the press conference. Okay. So after he kills his wife, their unborn child, and the 2 children, he then takes the children and his wife to his the site where he works. He buries his wife in a shallow grave and then proceeds to put the 2 children in an oil well where their bodies laid for several days. Now, what he did not do is he did not report this. He actually carried on as if he did not know where they were. I'm actually going to play for you really quickly the press conference that he did 24 hours before he actually admitted to confessing killing his family.
There's a good little sound thing going on here.
Wherever they're at, like I have no information of where they're at right now. Like I've exhausted like every friend that I know of and every friend that I have that's called friends that Shanann has that maybe I didn't know about. And it's just like it's vanished. Like she's not, like when I got home yesterday, it was like a ghost town. Like she wasn't here. Kids weren't here. I have no idea like where they went. And it's just earth shattering. I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from.
Okay, so he put on this whole production that he had no idea where they were. The best friend was actually the one that reached out because the wife, actually, she had a doctor's appointment that next morning to find the heartbeat of the baby. And when she didn't go to the doctor's appointment, that's when the suspicion arose about the situation. Okay, did I pretty much update them? Is there anything that I missed? No, you didn't.
I think you did a good job.
You did a good job.
When I start talking about my part, I'm going to fill in some blanks that she left out, but we're going to let her talk about her part first, because there is some things that I've came across to myself.
Okay.
I have some questions about, but
so let's talk about the two sides. All right. So first of all, you have this Christopher guy that was having an affair and with a coworker, and what he was saying is that he released or explained to or disclosed to his wife at that time that he was having the affair and he wanted to get separated or be separated. He said that the wife, in rage and in anger, when he went downstairs, he saw on the baby monitor her strangling the youngest child, and again, the other one was dead. Now, let's kind of talk about that part a little bit.
Let's give a timeline too, because people don't understand.
Yes.
This is a fresh story. This
Yes.
this is not a long time.
I
They
actually
don't know
have,
that. Yeah, timeline. They don't know that this was actually this week or last.
I
It
actually
was
have-
August 13th. Go ahead.
I actually
Give the
have
timeline.
a timeline right
It
here.
just happened.
So let's start off with exactly when the wife Shannon
Watts. Yes.
When she arrived home from a business trip, it was Monday, August 13th, around 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Now, Christopher told the police, the first policeman that came to the house, which we'll tell about that time a little later, he said that around 5 o'clock he woke up to go to work, and that's when he disclosed to his wife about he wanted to be separated from her. And then after that, he went to work around 5:30. And then around noon, 1 o'clock is when Shannon's friend Nicole noticed that she wasn't answering the phone calls, and that's when she missed the doctor's appointment, where she was supposed to see the baby's heart.
Yes.
So then that's when the police were first notified about the missing wife, and then they came to the house and realized that not only was the wife missing, but the children was missing as well.
Correct.
And that all happened on the first day, August 13th.
Correct.
So the next day, August 14th, Tuesday.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey. Sorry, I'm just making sure I catch up on that. So on the second day, the detectives noticed that the wife and children have not come home yet.
Right.
So they seeked out a missing person report at that time, and the FBI was notified. And then Tuesday afternoon was when Christopher did the press conference on his front porch, which is what we played for you a little bit earlier, where he pleaded for his wife to come home and how the house is empty without them.
Let me drink on that.
Okay. But let's keep going.
Let's keep it going.
So then August 15th, the next day, this is before he confessed. Around 4:15 p.m., the police sent out a drone over his job, which he did note that he worked at an oil and gas site in Colorado. When they put the drone, they noticed that they saw it. Let's just pause right here. Let's just take a pause.
Okay.
This man is not, I mean, no one is a professional killer, but this man used the bed sheets found at his house to bury these kids. Because when they flew the drone over, they saw a bed sheet that matched the pattern of several pillowcases, and the sheets from the kitchen trash were found at the house.
Okay.
Obviously.
So obviously we're like, ain't that the sheet that we found? Okay. So then that's when they approached him, and that's when he confessed to the murder.
Okay.
So he didn't even confess on his own. He confessed from not even know that. Wow.
Yeah, he confessed because after they found the bed sheet and everything. And it also says that they noticed that the ground was freshly moved where he buried the wife.
Okay. So here is...
And that was all in the span of 2 days.
2 days.
So the wife went missing on Monday. By Wednesday is when they found out that, or they found the bodies.
Okay. So here is a little bit of a kind of my devil's advocate opinion on it, and something that I want us to be a little bit open to, okay? I think that we're not discussing enough the amounts of women that are killing their children out of revenge or to be vindictive because of situations that were imposed upon them by their spouse. So I don't think that it's fair that a lot of people are dismissing that she could have, in actuality, been the one to kill those children. And then he, out of rage, seeing what transpired, killed her as well. Okay, I get the whole part. We're going to talk a little bit about the burying of the body and all of that. Yes, and the line. Okay, that does look a little crazy. However, I do think that we should consider the possibility that this woman may have in fact killed her kids. I want to read to you guys two specific situations.
That y'all got y'all chest out and I
You
don't.
don't have
Let
chest
me
out?
go ahead and just
Okay, show
show
your
y'all a little bit.
Okay, little chest. Okay, I'm not allowed to show too much. So
Oh, okay.
all right.
I mean, we could go rough then. That was consensus.
That's
You can
good.
show your
Okay, so I want to read to you guys two actual situations of women that killed their own children as a result of their spouse either divorcing them or they're finding out that they were cheating. Okay, this particular lady, she was actually just sentenced in Indiana to 120 years in prison for fatally stabbing her young children hours after her husband had filed for divorce. 31-year-old Brandy Worley learned her sentence Monday after she pleaded guilty in January to 2 counts of murder for killing her son, 7-year-old Tyler, and her daughter, 3-year-old Charlie Worley, in November of 2016, while her husband was asleep downstairs. Okay, now, why did she do it? She said, well, she called 911 moments after the attack, and she said, I just stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children. Why? She said, my husband wanted a divorce and wanted to take my kids, and I don't want him to have my kids. Okay? Why am I giving you these situations? Because I just want to bring, put a face or a name to, or a face to a lot of these situations where women are actually, to be victim, to get back to these husbands, they really are killing their children. So it's not far-fetched that Shannon could have really quite possibly killed her kids. Okay? Now, as a woman that is married, this man was having a full-fledged affair with a woman at his job. If you are a woman,
We don't know if it's a woman.
oh,
It just says coworker.
you right, you holistic on that. Oh, you right, Papa. It didn't say man or woman. It said
The
coworker. Whoa, and the plot thickens. Man, okay, so he was having an affair. So clearly this wife probably felt for months the disconnect. She probably even knew that there was something that was going on. And for him to be at a place where he's willing to say, you know what, I want to be separated, he was clearly connected with this other person, because you don't know if it's a man or woman at this point, enough for him to say, you know, I don't want to be a part of this relationship anymore. So she probably felt it coming. As a matter of fact, there are actually articles where the best friend said that Chris was changing his demeanor.
Yeah, he was very disconnected from the family. He wasn't spending much time with the children.
Wasn't affectionate.
That was part of the interview.
So, you know, this was brewing. You know, she was absolute. This animosity, this anger was boiling up. Let me give you another scenario. This one right here. Whew, okay, was it viewer discretion advised with this one? Okay, so.
Warning.
All right. This young lady, guys, I hope you're ready for this. I'm going to slow down because I want to make sure that I give you all the details on this, because you're going to, it's surreal. Kristen Clark, 21, was jailed without bond after being arraigned on charges of criminal homicide in the death of a 17-month-old Andre Price and attempted homicide of her 2-year-old sister, Angel. Okay, what happened? So apparently they were going back and forth in text messages where she started sending the baby daddy increasingly violent text messages that started about, you did hear about it, right? That started about 9 p.m. The complaint indicated that Clark was upset at having to clean up toilet water that the children spilled, but mostly because Price, the baby daddy, had left work for earlier in the day and believed that he had planned to have sex with another woman, okay? So she says in a text message, your kids ain't safe here. I don't want them here. And answer me or I'm going to jail for child endangerment, where 2 of the dozen texts were listed in the criminal complaint. Then another message came in. Thank you, Thank you. Then came another message at 10:01 p.m. where she says to the baby daddy, I'm killing them, followed by a laughing emoji with tears coming from its eyes. At various points, Clark also texts photos of each child, including one of the boy face down on the air mattress with his face in the comforter. By 10:14 p.m., Clark sent the first video showing the child laying face down with Clark And then she narrated saying, oh, look, Angel is still alive and sweating. Your son, on the other hand, is not even breathing. I wish I could keep the camera still. Another video 5 minutes later showed Clark grabbing Angel's head, prompting the girl to cry. When Clark grabbed the boy's head, he didn't respond. Then she said, first of all, she is clearly fine because what? See this? She ain't dead. Him, on the other hand, he ain't even budging. So you might want to call the ambulance. Clark said in the video. A minute later, she texts, all because you wanted to go and have sex. Here come, instead of come here and be with me. At 10:23 p.m., Clark acknowledged that she was responsible for the boy's death. The police say she later admitted smothering the child by holding him face down on the air mattress for about a minute. I'm sure it'll hurt me once I'm sitting in jail and you got all the evidence you need, so I ain't got that I suffocated him and stuff. But he ain't asleep. All you know what I'm saying is whatever happened, happened. These are text messages that she sent him. Price responded only 6 times. Price is the baby daddy. He responded only 6 times in the text printed in the complaint. At one point promising to take a bus home, but at other times ignoring Clark's threats to harm his children. It was only after Clark sent a third video at 11:09 p.m. showing her picking up the boy's limp body by the arm and tossing him on the bed. Then Price asked Clark to try to revive the child. He said to her, try to wake him. I said, hold him, he texted her. Then he said, it's okay, I'm dialing 911. Then she says, you need to if he's dead. So, again, I just wanted to give you guys those 2 examples so that you can understand and kind of see that there are women out there that can be and are very vindictive or find themselves in such a dark place with the relationship being broken or losing their partner to someone else, that they do go as far as harming their own children. Now, does that make what he did okay as far as how he handled the situation afterwards? And I think that's where you guys kind of chimed in. You actually went online and you researched, because I was thinking when you were saying to me, oh, well, maybe he admitted it, or maybe he said that because of the laws in Colorado, right, would he get a less sentence? So then we did a little bit of research, you know, because I was listening. And what did you find?
Well, I didn't find about you know, killing the kids, but I did find about killing the unborn child. Okay. In Colorado, you cannot get convicted killing an unborn child. The child has to be independently alive, you know, has to be alive, basically. So
outside of the womb.
Outside of the womb. Okay. So on that note, say if he does win this case, he will only be charged with the single murder. He won't be charged with the murder of the unborn.
Right. If he's able to convince the jury that she did, in fact,
that she killed the 2 children.
Killed the 2
right,
children.
Exactly.
Now,
I think he's lying. Well, I'm looking at over here. He is lying. Lying.
So let me get into it. Okay, so let's.
Can I say something real quick?
Of course. Let's get into. Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about his first account with the police officer. When he spoke to the police officer, he told her or him, whoever, that sorry, I'm gonna put my thoughts together. He told her or him that he woke up at 5 o'clock that morning and he spoke to the wife at that point about separating. Okay. Later on, when he spoke to a detective, he switched the time up again and said that he spoke to her at 4 before he had woken up, which is a little bit weird for me. Let's also talk about how he did that interview. And he already knew that he killed the people, or at least that he killed the wife. He did an interview where he was talking about how, oh, he's so sorry, and then he misses his family and wants his family to be back home, and it's empty, and just pleading for the family to come back. Obviously, we know that it's a lie. And then it wasn't until he confessed to the fact that he buried the family. So then he spoke to his father, and then he said, let me tell the truth. And that's when he said that he saw his wife strangling the children, and then he went to go strangle her. Okay. Now, another thing before you go into continue. Okay. They did do a autopsy of the bodies of the children and the wife. but it has not been released yet. Like I said, this happened like last week, so everything is still coming out.
So speaking of that, about the judge, right?
Yes. Well, really quickly before you say that, I do want to say that no, I just want to talk about the judge.
Yeah, the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go talk about the judge.
Right. So why would the judge? Okay. So one of the things that was extremely crucial in the evidence is taking DNA from the children's necks to see if they're able to find the DNA of the mother, right? Because that would exonerate her or not.
Mm-hmm.
It would be able to prove that she in fact did, strangle the children as he is saying or allegedly saying happened. But for some reason, the judge is saying, what did the judge say? That she's not going to accept that as evidence.
Yeah. It was actually the defense, which was the people that are on Chris Watts' side, was the one that asked for the authorities to bring that into court, and the judge said no.
They denied it.
Okay, Xavier, I want to address your question. Xavier says, so why did he dump their bodies in an oil container? Okay, all right. So those of you that
great question.
Great question, Xavier.
Thank you.
So, okay. Those of you that do not know, over the past couple of months, I have experienced the loss of two people very, very close to me. And we are now actively as a family going to grievance courses with other people that have experienced losses, from murder to natural causes to illnesses. And one of the things that I have learned in these grievance classes is that the worst thing that you can do is to delegate or set an expectation of how someone should react when they experience a loss. Okay, so there are a couple of factors here. One, you have, let's say that the wife did in fact kill the children. Okay, one, you have the guilt of Chris, where he now knows that he's going to have to tell his wife, who is 15 weeks pregnant, that he is leaving her for someone else. Which means he's not only breaking her heart, but he's separating his home, okay? So you have the guilt. That's the foundation of all of this. Then you have a man that has now walked, first of all, he witnessed on the baby cam his wife actively strangling and killing his youngest child, and then walks into a room where he sees his dead, one of his children, Blue, clearly dead, and the other one around his wife's arms dying as well, okay? I don't know about you guys, but you cannot dictate, or you cannot, there's no textbook reaction for how he should have handled, or how he would have handled, or what his mental state would be or should be in a situation like that. Now, is it extreme? Is it a lot that he drove the body, did the lie? Absolutely, it is. But I think because of my experiences with this grievance class and just hearing some of the things that people have said that they've done or thoughts that they've had that they never expected of themselves as a result of the grievance, I think that's what's making me a little bit more open to the possibility that, you know what, it doesn't make sense. It looks real fucked up, but is it possible? Could this man have a temporary moment of insanity, witnessing all of that, on top of the guilt of knowing that it was really as a result of him cheating? Because at the end of the day, even if no one died, there's still a tremendous amount of guilt on him. Let's say the wife didn't die. Let's say it was just the kids that died. Anything that happened as a result of him confessing the fact that he was having an affair would all fall back on him. So you have the guilt, and then now you have someone that's walked in seeing his children murdered. I don't know. Am I saying that? Am I justifying it? No. Does it make sense? Does it sound crazy? Absolutely. However, I think it's something worth considering. That's all I'm saying.
I completely agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
I think that, yes, when people are experiencing something traumatic, they react in a very bizarre way. But this man had 2-3 days to come out and tell the truth, and he didn't do that. He went on the press conference, said that he was missing his family and that he wanted them back home.
He was scared.
He clearly cleaned up the mess in the house, put everything in trash cans and tried to throw them away because, like the police said, they found bed sheets and pillowcases in the trash can.
Right.
I don't know what happened. Obviously, no one knows what happened. But what I think personally is that this man is trying to cover up a few more lies.
The lawyers are definitely behind it. They come this crazy story.
Yes.
And that's exactly what is going on right now.
I just had a thought.
The lawyers are behind this. I
just had a thought.
What's the thought, baby?
In conjunction to what you were saying.
Okay.
Because my memory is short and I'll forget.
Go ahead.
What if when the wife came home from work, because she was on a business trip and she got home at 2 o'clock in the morning, what if it was a situation where the wife walked in on who he was having the affair with, which we don't know the sex of that person yet? What if the person he was having the affair with was actually there, but the husband did not want to involve that person at all, maybe one, to protect their identity, or two, to protect his sexuality? Because we don't know who this other person is, if it's a male or female. The paper didn't say a female coworker. It just said coworker. So it could have been a situation of he was caught as well, and then all that went down. I'm just saying, that just came up a while ago. I just thought about that. Because who is this person? Why are they not talking to this other person, this coworker? She may have been, she may have been there the whole time.
She came home from a business meeting, which means she was by herself. The kids were home. You think he's gonna have somebody in the house with the kids home?
Hell yeah! You know how many times I done with my head as long as the kids don't sleep, get them some NyQuil, you know what I'm saying? Knock them out.
That's
close the door. You get it on and pop it.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I really think that
they were babies. They were 3 and 4. If he puts them to sleep, we're not gonna know what's going on. I know friends that still fuck with their 3 and 4-year-olds in the room in their crib. So I believe that he would have the person there. He could have said, oh, this is, daddy's friend from work, especially if it's a guy. I mean, they're definitely not going to think anything. It's a possibility. He could have had him there.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
I don't doubt the fact that this coworker was there at the house possibility. I still think that there is still a lot of holes in the investigation in the case that does not make any sense. But I'm not going to just say it's a quite possibility that the wife did it. Let's go back to your stories because I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
With both the stories about when the woman acted in a bad way, finding out that the husband wanted to leave or cheating or whatever.
Okay.
The wives were able to make an account for it. The wives were able to say, like for the first one, where the wife called the police itself and said, "I just killed my 2 kids and stabbed myself."
Okay.
In the second one, you had the text messages to prove it. You really are only going off of what Chris's account, because Chris is the only one that's alive that was there that night, except for maybe possibly the coworker. So you can't just automatically assume that the wife did it. If he said that he saw them on the nanny cam, why is the nanny cam not brought into court? Why isn't the fee brought to court and say, if he caught her killing it, the nanny cam should be able to blast it on the courtroom and see, yes, this is my wife strangling the 2 kids.
Recording at all times, right? That's what it's for.
Now, like I said, it just started. I think he just got his charges today.
Last night. What's today? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, yesterday. Mm-hmm.
He just got his charges yesterday. So the court is still it's still an ongoing case.
How you know, Emo? You was there. He called you and said he did it.
I would have emailed.
Thank you.
He did it.
He did it.
He did it. Now, Xavier is awesome. Like, his questions are dope. He said, did they have insurance because they were in debt over $500,000?
Yes, I did read that. They were in debt.
That was good, Xavier.
They were in debt. I did read that.
So him and his boyfriend can go ahead and escape.
His coworker. We're not going to throw his sexuality up in there. His coworker. I did read that his family, were struggling. They did file for bankruptcy. I think 2015. I think it said.
Yeah.
So yes, that could be a possibility.
Okay. Maybe you're gonna say something. I'm sorry.
No,
about the lawyers.
No, I think that the lawyers made up the story for him.
Oh,
definitely.
like we were saying. Okay, so did we talk about how in Colorado that a crime of passion isn't
his sentence will be reduced.
Yes.
If they find out that it's
a crime of passion.
Yes.
In Colorado, that is part of the law.
So when Nancy was saying that it could be a possibility that the lawyers probably know something that we don't know, that Chris probably told them, and the lawyer said, you know what, shut your mouth. This is what we're gonna do. And then boo. So that is a possibility.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So if his sentence gets reduced, okay, so in the state of Colorado, if they cannot try him for the murder of the unborn child, and they're able to prove that the wife did in fact kill the children, it would really be the second-degree murder.
Crime of passion is second-degree murder in Colorado.
And he wouldn't get a lot of time.
He would not get a license.
No, it would not be a
license.
So maybe that's what he was doing during that time. Maybe the lawyers knew.
That's what I'm saying. It's a possibility that the lawyers know something that we don't. They do know something that we don't.
Okay.
And they're trying to help their
The case.
The case.
Well, they're trying to help their client. Sorry, it's a little for their client. Trying to help their client and make sure he gets less time.
Okay.
That's a good possibility.
It is.
I think, right now, I think that this man killed his family. Why? Who knows? Who just kills your wife, pregnant wife, and 2 kids? Who does that? But also,
I think there's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of secrets.
There is a lot of secrets, but
course.
my thing as of right now, I think that he did it.
Yeah.
I think he did it. I think that
But
those
he clearly
lies.
killed the wife. Yes.
Clearly,
we know that.
he admitted to the
Yes,
wife.
he did it. But I think that there's a very strong possibility that the wife may have killed the kids for the instances that I've told you. I think that's something that needs to be looked into more. You know, women and their crime of passion or killing the children. That needs to be looked into.
One more thing, I read online that the cause of death.
College student, y'all.
Sorry, I have notes. Okay, I have notes.
Hey, that college tuition, you gotta you gotta get it. Receipt.
So the cause of death has not been released,
Okay.
but the filings from prosecutors say that a gun may have been involved.
You lie.
Yes,
A
a gun may have been involved. So I need answers. I need answers, Christopher. I
We need answers, Christopher.
Because
I didn't know
because
that.
he's saying, because Christopher's saying that he's strangled the wife and then the wife strangled the kids, so there should be no gun involved at all.
Right.
But saying that a gun may have been involved. Now, you don't know for sure, but the article I read did say that a gun may have been involved.
So you think maybe the mistress or the mister did some
co-worker.
Oh.
Co-worker. Leave it at the co-worker. She wants him to be gay so bad, y'all.
It makes the tea so much more juicy.
It just makes it a little bit more sweeter.
You know, wow, guys, this actually is.
Is there any more questions?
We're gonna definitely
follow. So please explain why he was on the news pleading for the return of his family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, that's Xavier.
Doesn't go together.
Xavier, your questions?
I love Xavier.
Yes,
I love
Xavier. Yes, keep it coming. Yes, you know, Xavier, that's the only thing for me that makes it really hard to
when he realized
push for him.
Even Greg agrees with us, Marcel.
Yeah.
Greg,
yes, he agrees as well. He thinks he did it all.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
When he realized he would be stuck with those kids, he took them. Now there has been some cases where the wife killed the kids and he killed the wife. I mean, which
yes. That's
honestly, there are a lot of unanswered questions. So we're gonna wrap this up, but I want to wrap it up with some of the unanswered questions that we have for Christopher. Okay. First of all, my main question for Christopher is:
co-worker.
Is you a mastermind or not?
Christopher is a heterosexualized.
I'm not gonna say that. That is a good question.
Is you a mastermind or not? Who is the co-worker, Christopher?
I would like to speak to the co-worker. I would like to speak to the co-worker.
That's my first question.
The co-worker's gonna come to light.
Yes.
Trust
The
me.
second
And this
thing-
is very, very fresh. So
Yes. The second thing is, why did the judge dismiss the evidence of the DNA from the children's neck? That's important.
The neck and the swabbing.
The neck and the swabbing of the cheeks.
that's an important.
Why would you throw that out?
Yeah.
That's important.
Now the judge, it was the defense who brought it to the judge. Maybe the judge already thinks that Chris killed everybody and doesn't want that to be brought to court because he thinks that that'll get Chris off. That could be a possibility.
But if it's brought to court and the evidence shows that the mother's DNA and why would she? If the man didn't kill those kids, then that needs to be brought to light.
Right.
It needs to be brought to light. Did he kill the wife? Nobody is disputing that fact at all.
The wife was killed.
The
by
wife
Christopher.
was killed by
He's
Christopher.
even admitted that.
Absolutely.
He admitted that.
He
knows.
even admitted
that's done. He already knows he's going to serve time for that.
But now, just a little thought I had, just right now in the back of my head.
In the back of your head.
What if the co-worker had something to do with the killing and Christopher is trying to cover it up?
For the boo.
So many questions.
So many questions. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in last minute and joining us. We're probably gonna try to do this a little bit more.
I think maybe when the court cases start to come out more, we'll come back on and let y'all know.
As well as some other really hot topics out there. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining the TV Takeover, My Life Royal all the way live. Don't forget, on September 16th, we're going to be doing the interview with Stacey Lewis. He was the gentleman that spent 21 years in prison for a series of extremely heinous crimes. Just got out of prison 6 months ago. Is going to be talking to me exclusively. I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
I don't know if I'm ready for this one.
It's juicy.
See, absolutely. Yes, 4 part.
Okay.
And then we are also going to be working on doing actually a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's going to work. We're going to be actually in San Diego. I am.
Right.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
I'll be here too.
In Miami.
Yeah.
Beyonce
concert. Yes, I know. So it'll be at San Diego. We actually were thinking about doing Tijuana, going over the border and bring you guys on that adventure. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let's play the music. Let's play the new song.
Yes.
New song. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Sounds good. Cheers.
Karma Sin, her new track.
This shit is hot.